Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
And here's another clean-cut young man. It's a very good morning and welcome to the program, to the Mayor of the Horowhenua. Bernie, a very good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, John, and I like the young.
Yeah, well, so do I, actually. I actually called that the other day, and it was at an eye clinic, so that explains it. However, Mr. Mayor, Bernie Wanden, things have been actually quite busy as you begin your tenure as Mayor. You've had a busy month, haven't you?
I've had a very busy month. My feet have hardly touched the ground, but, it's been very good. And, very positive and constructive way that we've started the team, so very pleased.
And I see that I'm having a look at your diary here. You've had school agricultural days. Of course, we had the civic awards that you mentioned. But also you're getting into some quite big stuff, the meeting with the Minister of Transport on the highway situation, which is a matter of some controversy in the community at the moment.
Well, I wouldn't call it controversy. We just need some certainty around what's happening. And, 6 months ago we were in a place of limbo, but now we are in a much better space where NZTA have announced that they will be doing the business case and the designation. Now, there's going to be an announcement over that from NZTA in the next few days, and we expect that designation and business case to be completed in the next 2 years or so.
Okay, so that sounds like progress. Is it, or is it illusory?
No, definitely progress. Then there's still some way to go before we start construction, like consenting and things like that, but at least we're way down the track. These processes do take time, unfortunately.
Well, they sure do. There's an enormous amount of work going on in the background for these major projects. Now, something that came out since I last talked to you is the statistics about the Horowhenua and the growth in the Horowhenua. It is really quite remarkable.
Look, it is quite remarkable, and we're having to adjust quite significantly from our thoughts in terms of our future. We were predicting that we would be around the 40,000 mark at 2038. We now expect that we'll reach that figure 10 years earlier.
Wow.
It's quite significant. So we are the fastest growing region in the bottom half of the North Island. And that is, while it presents some real challenges, it also presents some real opportunities for us.
And also, I imagine that's affecting the house prices and the valuations we'll talk about shortly. But we just talked about the amount of work that's required for major planning. This also applies to councils. Does this mean that you're having to allot further resources into planning for this increased population?
We certainly are. And we're part of two growth spatial plans that are being done around the bottom half of North Island. So we've actually been invited into the Wellington region growth plan because they see us as being part of the solution that they can provide for the amount of growth that's happening around the Wellington region. But we're also part of the sort of like the Horizons area spatial plan as well. And these are basically high-level identification of spaces where we can put housing, where we can put schools, all these other things that we need.
So it's very good that you've been involved in the Wellington process, because I think it's well acknowledged that there is a drift northwards, and let's face it, Kapiti is connected to Wellington and the Horowhenua is connected to Horowhenua and Kapiti are connected. There is a conduit, there's a flow going on, so I think it has got to be considered as a whole.
Definitely, and we don't like to see lines on boundaries these days.
Sure.
We're pretty much a region rather than just a small district. So we can help and assist with finding the solutions that those areas are having. And let's face it, that when that Ojaki Expressway and the Transmission Gully are finished, you're going to be able to travel to Wellington from Levin in less than an hour. And so we're basically a suburb of Wellington.
Indeed. So that is good. You talk about having these regional almost responsibilities now. Does that mean that you can call on regional resources to help in planning for the growth and making sure that we have what we need when we need it?
For sure. Look, there is definitely much better collaboration from within the territorial authorities around the bottom half of the North Island, especially the Horizon region. And I've been to a number of meetings over the last few weeks with mayors and CEs of those areas, and there is sort of a real knowledge that we have to work together. We can't do it in isolation, especially the transport infrastructure and the roading.
Can you foresee the fact or the possibility of the Horowhenua being connected to the Wellington regional transport system?
Look, there's going to be significant investment in a number of transport areas over the coming years, railways especially, but also hopefully when we get the certainty of the expressway to Levin, I think you'll find that there will be a much better connection with Wellington after that.
Now, we just mentioned the property valuations, and we have talked about it before, but I was just wondering if there's any connection between the growth that we talked about before and the property valuations. I imagine those valuations are a bit behind what's happening in the market. Would that be correct?
I don't know about behind. I think they're reasonably current now, but we do understand that there has been significant increase in the average house price over the last few years. Figures that I've seen recently indicate that we're over the $360,000 mark now. But when you compare that to the national average of $700,000, we're still in a pretty good affordable space.
You're right, it's a pretty good place to live, no doubt about that. Final question, are you looking forward to the Christmas carnival?
Definitely. Yes, I'll be working probably Saturday afternoon, so I will be part of the parade and all that's happening around the middle of town on Saturday. Looking forward to it.
I bet you are. I was just wondering whether you're going to put on a red hat and a white beard.
No, not really. I don't think I could carry that off very well at all.
Bertie, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thanks, John.
There we are, Bertie Wanden, the Mayor of the Horowhenua.
106.3 Beach FM.